Alrighty, hello everybody. Let's try that again. Essay paragraphs, a simple guide. The body paragraph. The body of your essay is where you detail your ideas. It usually takes up approximately 80% of your essay. It is important to remember that the evidence you provide should support your writing rather than the other way around. Structure your body paragraphs by beginning with a topic sentence. This is the topic of the paragraph. Provide supporting evidence with citations, but also ensure that you paraphrase and summarize your sources more often than you quote. It is essential that each paragraph have some of your own analysis and commentary. This might include comparing and contrasting the ideas of others, asking questions, providing further examples, or making some conclusions based on your analysis. Consider how you will conclude your paragraphs and how your paragraphs will link together. Remember, be formal, objective, and cautious with your writing. The topic sentence. This is the topic of the paragraph. This lets the reader know exactly what they will be reading about. And they often include a linking sentence that refers to the previous paragraph. Supporting evidence and examples with citations. Cite reputable sources only. Can't be any more clear on that. Make sure the sources you're using are credible sources, okay? And this is pretty easy to do. Have a look at where they're from. You can even search up what a if it's a fake news website. But make sure they're credible. You want to summarize these, paraphrase them, and quote them. However, if you're quoting, do it sparingly, okay? You don't want to have lots and huge chunks of words that are quoted. And all of them need to be cited. If it's not your idea, it needs a citation. It needs to be referenced. Analysis. It is important to provide some analysis, comparing and contrasting sources, asking questions, making conclusions. Analysis is your thought in this area, okay? This is where your ideas come into play. And then a concluding sentence. Sometimes paragraphs include concluding sentences, or a final sentence that links to the following paragraph. Note that drawing your own conclusion is another example of analysis. They are not necessary for every paragraph, so these are optional and you don't need to use them for every paragraph. Got two examples, and they use them. One that has the concluding sentence, one doesn't. So let's start with this one first. Firstly, we have our topic sentence. Despite this focus on hard skills, it appears that the biggest benefit for going to university is not necessarily what you learn, but the people you meet there and the networks that you create. So starting off with the linkings, it has some linking stuff in there. Despite a focus on hard skills, we can assume that the previous sentence was about using hard skills. Okay. And then lets us know that this will be talking about that it's the networks that you make while at university. Okay, we have two lots of sources there. Firstly, this one, the Hopkins and Bylander, backing up the information about the networks. Okay, and then a second source backs up their analysis, which was a question that they asked. So what kind of transferable skills do students carry over from their studies and their career? From their study into their career? Okay, and we have Rascovich's source, followed by this also assists in the development of the interpersonal communication skills sought by employers. A little bit of analysis. And then lastly, we have the linking sentence there. Student proficiency in a range of digital skills to facilitate online academic, professional, and social networks are also important elements in the bigger picture of graduate communication skills. Big sentence. This is an example of a concluding sentence. Okay, it summarizes the information that we've seen in that example paragraph. Let's have a look at example 2. Here we have example 2. First off, we have our topic sentence. Social interaction is one of the fundamental principles of social constructivist theory. In this philosophy, learning is regarded as a social process where people are engaged with social practices. So our topic sentence also has a reference in it, okay? Mainly because the reference is in relation directly to what this paragraph is going to be about. Okay. They then follow this up by backing it by another source. Vygotsky argues that with the help of the peer and other mentors, learners develop concepts and ideas they can go on to understanding independently. We've got 2 sentences and 2 references. Don't be afraid to use lots of references. In fact, more references the better. And then this does not have a concluding sentence. It just has analysis at the end. In addition, students' social interactions with other students, academics, and other individuals outside the university are major influences on individual development and knowledge construction. In other words, learners interact with members of their community outside the curriculum in order to obtain or understand new knowledge and how to apply it. Oh, big sentences. All right, so that's cool. That's we can see some examples of analysis there. Analysis is asking questions. Analysis is taking those 2 references and making a conclusion about them. It is about discussing and interpreting the sources that you've put in there, okay? And you need to make sure you're doing that. When you're referring to a source that you found and citing someone else's work, explain why it's there and how it connects to your essay question. Thank you to Deakin University. These examples have come from their study support guide, and I suggest you check it out. There is a link in the notes if you would like to check that out further. Thank you very much for listening. Happy writing.